The ocean holds an interactive attention in Gordons Bay. It is the smallest of the three Helderberg towns. In this gallery he calls home and shares with his dog, South African artist Jaco Kruger brings in all the valuables the environment stands for.
It's finally my time to be on Invade. Welcome to my home.
Jaco, this space looks amazing, very eclectic. What's the inspiration behind building a tiny home, with recycled items?
When I saw this property, I was living 2 houses down the street from here. And one day I saw there's a for sale board up, and I peeked over the wall, and there was a really tiny house sitting here. I think the workers from the house below, because this is one property, lived in this tiny house, and it was full of all these levels because all the old people had vegetable gardens and avocado trees and all that. So I phoned the agent and walked in, and when I walked down those stairs, it looked like Italy to me, and with the stairs being so steep and the big wall and all the trees, and I just knew I can't break that piece.
With the layout of the house, Gordons Bay appears as his garden, and the Atlantic Ocean is the water hallmark.
So in the end, I started by just making this deck, close this deck, and then second-hand parts, which I love. I like walking around in second-hand dealers of like windows.
Supporting local.
Yeah, local, yeah. I walk around them all the time. I love it. I look for like treasures, and
I'll say you have it here.
yeah, I have a lot.
I saw like, the road maps, the things you pick up along whilst you travel.
Yes.
You travel a lot,
Yes,
right? So
yeah.
we'll get to
Yes,
that. But, the inspiration is beautiful.
Yes.
But how do you source these items to ensure that they're safe for you to use?
Okay, so I use reputable people, and they on the stuff that I buy, like doors and old doors, like the French doors behind me, they don't work and fit properly anymore. So you will see there are gaps in it, and it's just part of what it is. I don't try and fix it. It's part of
Trying to keep the
original value of it. So this for me was a pure gem, finding these French doors and then turning them into windows, and then we have a huge, they don't have massive windows. So I actually built the house around the gems I find. So my front door, for instance, is really tall, and I wanted to have that. I bought that door immediately, and then I had to lift the roof to fit the door.
Wow.
So I'm building around what I get, you see.
Wow.
Like these doors with the windows inside of a door, and then they have to go into specific places, like in the shower, then you can open the window or the door. And then like the table, for instance, this is 2 doors, Oregon pine frames. It still has the lock parts where the doors lock. All those parts are still in the legs. So for me, it's all art actually. I'm building around art pieces that I find, and then I get this eclectic house. I've always wanted to live in a gallery.
Having traveled across Botswana, Namibia, and Europe, this jaunting artist arrives home each time with new items to add and peace to enjoy.
Now, what were the challenges you went through? Obviously, these things are not easy putting together, waste into and turning it into something reasonable. Were there any challenges you went through, in picking the pieces and ensuring that they fit into the home the way you want it to fit?
Yes, had to, as I told you, I had to work around what I bought. So what I buy changes my design. So I didn't have I never drew a plan. It's all in my head. I can see it. It's one of the things that I do. My mind, it sees things physically properly, and I can picture it. And so there wasn't any. I don't see it as there were no challenges, man. It's just I work it, put it in there. That door there, I had to cut down to fit in, but it is what it is. And
well, I'll say that I want my life to be like Jaco's life, no challenges.
no, it's just a challenge for me. I love it. I love challenges. So I think outside of the box. So that's how I can design products and sculpt and coach. And challenges to me are fun. I enjoy the chaos.
Well, yes.
Yes.
While talking about chaos, the real gem in this house is your bathroom.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
People say to me, why are you making your bathroom the gallery? I have to go and show them the bathroom all the time. I love it. I think a bathroom for me is a wet bathroom. It's a small space and you spend time in there and then you actually look at the art. Whereby if you walk in here, you would miss it. So yeah, that's also full of stuff that I've found around the world and memories that I carry. So yeah, it's beautiful. I love it in there. That's a lovely space.
Well, thank you so much for that. You know, how does living in this tiny home, how has it impacted your artistic life?
Yes.
And of course your daily life as an artist and of course as a person?
Man, there's something to be said about small house living. It is peaceful. It's like being in a cocoon actually. I can see my whole house. From anywhere.
Yeah.
But there we see the whole place. And that gives a peace. Everybody who visits me, all my friends, they just love it. My kids, when they visit, they're sleeping on the couch, the one with me in the bed, and then they fight who must sleep where. But we are chatting, so we are very much like an Italian family. You know, we talk all the time, and it's just a safe. You feel cuddled. Small homes give you that closed, safe feeling.
Intimate.
Very intimate, yes.
Well, Jaco, this home is everything for everyone. Thank you so much for the invite.
Jaco's love for his art and craft is evident at first glance. So it is only fitting that Chidi invade him at a gallery that sells his work.
When I sculpt, I don't necessarily have an end product in mind. It's there are months when you can't sculpt, but when you can sculpt, it's very much just flows. So I take the material that I work with and just start playing with it, and something comes out of it. There's no goal. I'm not sculpting towards a specific piece. And this is a really good example because I just felt like making legs and trying to see if I can get the anatomy right. And at the end, then I decided, well, I'm going to end it quite abstract where the legs are pretty much correct. So yeah, that's the story. It's never planned. It just flows. When you're in that state, it's easy actually. It must carry a message. I can't put the message on the name, for instance, because then I'm leading the viewer into what I see. But I want the viewer to be pulled in, to look, and that is done by having balance in the artwork, in having the right lines and playfulness, smiles, happiness. Yeah.
You can see I'm smiling.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm smiling myself.
Telling stories is at the core of his art, and he walks his talk. With a short conversation with Jaco and Jay, who represent him at galleries, our guesses are correct.
You support established artists. Tell me about, Jaco's art.
So Jaco is a close friend of mine as well. Met him a couple of years ago and recently started representing him in the gallery, and we just love his playfulness in what he presents in his art. His art represents, as I said, something that everybody can enjoy in their house. It's not necessarily abstract or super modern or highly controversial. It's something that suits every person's style.
Our main focus is Jaco today.
Yes.
You sell his art. What do you
Yes.
feel? What made you drawn to his style of work?
Well, Jaco, what I love about his work specifically is probably not the word individuality, but there's a connectivity which people are drawn to. He tends to do family scenes. It's something that people can relate to. It's very relatable art. And then with his new work, I love the burst of colors that is introduced now, which I think makes a huge difference and impact. But essentially, I would say it is definitely the fact that his work is very relatable. It's family scenes. It's someone playing with a balloon or with a kite or with whatever, and a family sitting together, a father playing with his son, and people are drawn to that.
Well,
So,
thank you so
yeah.
much for that. Thank you so much, of course, for coming to the show.
Yeah, pleasure.
Invade is a creative adventure. It's fun indeed.